Thank you so much for staying with us and welcome back to the program. We know the president will be addressing the nation tomorrow morning. What are the president's utmost priorities after being away from the office for more than 100 days? Well, let's quickly round up our conversation with the governor of Imo State, Governor Okorocha, who has been talking to us about the party's agenda. And now that the president is back, what will we be expecting? And the question I was asking, or that you were answering, is whether or not your party is under pressure and the kind of disappointment some Nigerians have expressed, the fact that the APC made a lot of promises, more than halfway into the 4-year term they voted your party. Some people will say the party has perhaps not delivered on some of the promises.
Yes, we'll talk about the promises, and you said we made a lot of promises. I told you that President Muhammad Buhari was very clear on his promises. When he talked about agriculture, he talked about corruption, fighting, he talked about Boko Haram, insurgents, he talked about power. Now, have we done well with Boko Haram fights, insurgents? You say yes, of course, he's done well. Will you say fight against corruption, he's done well with that? Of course, give him credit. Will you say agriculture is not doing well? Agriculture is doing better than it has ever been in the history. Now, issue of power, we still have challenges, but we're moving towards it. You can see the effort being made within 2 years. I mean, this is clear. But what I will tell you is that APC is not a propagandist. We're not found to be a party that talks too much about what we have not done or what we have done. So that might be the reason why we're not making the impact. So we're not sold ourselves well, if you want to put it that way. But believe me, there's nothing Buhari has said that has not met what is promised. So,
Governor Okorocha, I mean, if I'm quickly coming, you will have a tough trade for Nigeria come 2019. Don't you think it will be a very tough battle to convince voters, some of the average voter that goes to the polls in Nigeria, and not the elitist section of the public? How tough do you think this will be for you to convince Nigerians to vote for your party again in 2019, practically speaking?
But let me say this, and I said again and again and again, that you're talking about a major contender, which is the PDP. Now, PDP has not changed. The people there have not changed. The same faces, the same old people that understand their history, their background, and what they can do. So what new can they offer better than what APC is doing? You see, I don't know. I'm not saying we are there yet, and I don't want to make the point that APC has really fulfilled all its promises. So APC is great. We still have a lot to do. And we owe Nigerians a whole lot. And, excuse me, we owe Nigerians a whole lot. But when you talk about election, and the PDP has not changed. Unless Nigerians have forgotten that where we find ourselves today was not an act of APC. It was purely a PDP act. So if you want to go and say Nigerians, unless Nigerians have forgotten. So take people individual by individual. Just look at people and party and their performances. You know that APC has done well. At least for the first time, you see a government you can believe in and trust. If APC tells you they will do this, or President Buhari says he will do that, believe me, he will do it.
All right. Because we need to take the conversation forward, and this perhaps is my last question for you, Governor Okorocha. As it stands now, do you think that the president should be thinking of rejigging his cabinet, perhaps thinking about a cabinet reshuffle, and now that he's recuperating, what the kind of guests that he should be receiving, how heavy should the traffic be there?
In fact, in the history of Nigerian presidency, it is overdue. Believe me. Just chicken.
Unfortunately, the network went back and we've lost the connection there. That's the governor of Imo State, Okorocha, and the chairman of the Governors Forum of the APC.